Hello, crafters, and welcome to the P2P Winter Online Craft Show, brought to you by From Picture to Page Papercraft Shows, where we nurture your creativity with in person and online shows. I'm your host for this session, Wendy Stewart, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here today to present this for you. The Winter Online Craft Show features demonstrations by our talented retailers and guest artists. For all of the details, as well as a sneak peek of sessions coming up later today and tomorrow, please go over to our website, which is from picture to page and beyond.com.au. While you're there, please make sure you're on the mailing list so you are the first to know about all that's happening in the P2P world. You'll get information of all the upcoming in person shows and anything else that's happening. Members of our mailing list community also get special offers and a few special things during the year. So we really want you to make sure you're on the mailing list. We don't want you to miss out on anything. Now, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching a replay, please pop in the comments, say hello. We'd love to know you're there. Feel free to ask any questions of our guest artist for this session. I will do my best to get them answered. If we don't answer them during the live, definitely we will go back and answer them after we're done. So, let me say hello to Alana. Thank you, Alana, for joining us. Oh, thank you, Anne. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Emmanuel. He's my friend from India. He's not some crazy stalker. He's just watching because I told him to. Anyway, so without further ado, please let me bring on our super special guest for this hour. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Wendy and crafters. How's everyone today?
We're good. It's so lovely to have you on the other side of the camera representing mixed media art. And it's an absolute delight for me to pick your brain for a change and host you. So thank you for the opportunity.
And I certainly love being on this side of it because I am a passionate paper crafter, mixed media artist, and art journalist, and I do love to share my knowledge with everyone.
Absolutely. Michelle, what have you got for us today, please?
So today I'm going to show how to turn your gel print or an A4 piece of
Yes.
paper into a mini book, and then along with a few techniques on decorating it as well.
Awesome. Because I think, I don't know about you, but every time I do a gel printing session, I can't stop. I have to literally go, okay, you've done like 40 pieces of A4 paper. Stop. What are you going to do with them? So this is going to be a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful way for us to learn how to do that. So I'm going to give you a moment to swap your camera over and I'll come back to you. So get ready, everybody. Get your pens and papers out. Take some notes. You can always go back and rewatch this session when we're done because I know Michelle's going to have a great amount of ideas for you. And to all those of you who have bought gel plates and how they're still in their bag from the show or you haven't unpacked them, this is a great opportunity to see how you can get out, have some fun, and just do lots of things with your gel prints. So I think Michelle's ready for us. She's going to give me a thumbs up and I think she's good to go. So let me bring her back. Over to you, Michelle. Oh, that's great. Fantastic.
Excellent. Thanks, Wendy, and hello, everyone. So, yes, I'm going to run through this demonstration. Now, for some of you that have visited us at our in-person shows recently, you might notice, and so this was inspired by one of our design team, by Joe Hughes, and we did this at the Bendigo and Pakenham from Picture to Page shows, I believe. So what we're going to do, like I said, is turn it into this little book and then give you some ideas on different ways to decorate it as well. So let me clear this off and let's jump in.
Look at all those gorgeous books, Michelle.
Wendy said, so we're using gel print, so we're using acrylic paints to create these really unique backgrounds. We're using a 120 GSM paper that we now stock, so it's a beautiful, smooth paper that's just a little bit thicker than normal copy paper because it gives us a bit more of a robust print. And you can see here we've used the Dina Wakley and the Dilutions acrylic paints. Here we've used some art foamies. Here I've used a darkroom door stencil. Here I've just got a plain pattern, but I think that's going to be quite interesting. And you can see here I've used an art foamy. There's another art foamy one there as well. So you can see how the possibilities are just endless.
Absolutely.
So, okay, we're going to take our piece of paper. Now, we're going to spend a little bit of time folding it, but it's one of those projects that it's worth putting a little bit more effort in up front for the results in the long term. So, what we're going to do is fold it in half. And then, because of the way the book goes, some pages are mountain folds, some are valley, and it's a bit hard to figure out which is which. So I'm just going to do one both ways, and then we know we've got it covered. And that just helps break the grain in it as well. And I can hear our neighbours doing some drilling or riveting, so hopefully
Yes.
that's not too loud to everyone there. I mean, seriously, these guys have done nothing all day. They just wait for our videos to
No,
start.
they just knew it was
And
your
then up
turn,
they...
Michelle.
Oh, they must have. At least the rain stopped for now.
Very true.
Okay, so we folded it long ways and across. Now I'm going to fold the short ends into the middle. Turn it around. Do the same on this end. And we're going to unfold them, turn it over, and then, like I said, just break that grain in the paper by folding it back the other way. And that just makes it a little bit easier to get this book to fall into position. Okay, so what we're going to do now is fold it in half with the coloured side out, and taking a pair of scissors, we're going to cut along on the folded side through to this middle point. There we go. And then folding it down, grabbing it our bits, and then folding it like that. So you can see how that then becomes a really interesting book. Like that. Now, depending on the thickness of paper, sort of how much you might have to wrestle it into position. And then you get a chance to have a look at, well, what would you like, or where would you like the front cover? You can see, because the print hasn't come all the way to the edge, you've got a little bit of white space, but that's okay. We can talk about ways of filling that up as well. Then we've got some different things to look at. I'm wondering if that might be a nice little front cover. Okay, so now we've got our little mini book and a whole heap of pages to decorate, and of course, so many different mixed media techniques that we could use to decorate them. So to start off with, like I said, I've got this little bit of white here, so I want to just get rid of some of that white. And I'm going to do that by using a stencil. So here I have one of my favourite Art by Marlene stencils. I'm also going to use a blender, and I've got a whole heap of little baby ink pads here. Can you see them?
Yes, we can, Michelle. We definitely can.
These are my cute little ink pads that I basically drag around everywhere with me, and it's just so nice to have them all there ready to go. And I think one of these, maybe it was Joe, taught me that if you've got your little sponges, you can store them in the bottom of the ink pads, so you've already got the colour that's matching and ready to go.
So clever, so clever.
Okay, now I'm going to line up the stencil. Now I don't want the circles to look too aligned with the paper underneath, so I'm going to put it at a bit of an angle. Then just going to dab it on, hold the stencil firmly. The great thing about using ink through stencils is you can build it up slowly, and you know that the colours aren't going to blend or run.
And I think it gives you more control over your piece and exactly where you're taking it.
And if we're not sure, we can hold it. Of course, we could always tape it down, and then we can just have a little bit of a peek. Go, oh, is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. But as we know in mixed media, one colour is usually a little bit boring, so let's pop that one away.
Like that.
And perhaps grab another colour, something that, you know, won't look too out of place. So this is a cactus flower, a really nice sort of bright magenta-y pink. And the great thing is with the blue, we know it'll go a little bit purple.
Definitely, definitely.
No, Wendy's favourite colour.
Totally. And I was just about to say, thanks for using purple.
Anytime. Okay, so I'll take that away. So you can see how already that line becomes, you know, not as solid. You don't sort of notice it quite as much. So
you want it to just be a subtle accent, you know, maybe not a focal part of the piece so far.
Exactly. And that's the challenge when you sort of, you know, you play with these. You're never quite sure what you're going to end up with. So sometimes it's worth being a bit experimenting. Now I'm just going to get a light blue and, like I said, just take a little bit more of that white off. Just so we're really not, there we go, not seeing much. Okay. So next thing we're going to do, I should say, is decorate the front. So one of the things I love about mixed media, like I said, is basic composition. You can use it whether it's a small piece or in your art journal. The same rules sort of apply.
Sure.
So I've used one of these gorgeous Art by Marlene stamps, and I've put it onto her lovely collage paper. And I'm going to stick that on. Cutting it out is just one of my favourite things to do at the moment. You just get such an extra use of your stamps and your background papers by doing that. Of course, you could do it on gel print as well. I've got a weekly washi tape. Again, that's just a nice, and I'm going to add a bit of a horizon. So I'm going to about a third of the way up, just put that little bit on and then tear it off. Wrap that around. So there we go. You can see we've got the start of some composition. Yes. We've got a horizon. Yes. Then we want to put this on, and I don't really want to put it in the middle. I want to add a bit of interest and move it over to the side. And because, again, we've got this line, I want to sort of consider the focal point of the flower being lined up with my horizon.
Sure.
I'm just going to use a simple glue stick, quite often in mixed media, more of a gel medium, which is like an adhesive that has a low water content, which is great for thin papers, for rice papers and tissue paper.
Yes.
But for this little exercise, a glue stick is also just as fine. So there we go. Now, for some of the observant, you might say, oh, but I haven't cut it out very well. That's A, because I really don't like fussy cutting, and B, because I've got a technique that will help disguise that. So firstly, I want to add a sentiment. I think we always need a sentiment. So this is a really cute by Marlene, something to say. Now, can you see that okay? Hopefully it's not
Yes, we
glaring.
can. Yes, we can.
And I'm going to use, I love this dream a little. I think that's a good reflection of what we're doing today.
Yes.
Craft a little, dream a little. Just one of the things I've done, and I think it was a tip by Marlene, is when I take your stamps out of the pack, because I'm one that always keeps the packages.
Yes.
But what I've done is double-sided taped the back layer on.
Okay.
And then used some packing tape to create a little bit of a hinge. So then it keeps them together.
Yeah, that's so clever.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that before.
Done that on a couple of different ones.
Oh,
so
that's
it's a
fantastic.
way of, when you're carting them around shows, you don't want to be putting them back in their bags all the time.
Very true. Yep.
But it's a way. So I'm putting that that clear stamp, the acrylic block, and then I'm going to use my archival ink. Now, when we're doing mixed media, we always say that there's no rules, there's only guidelines. But one of the things we always want to consider is to know our materials and know when to best use them. So I love the archival inks because this and all their little baby friends are waterproof. So once it's on and dry, it's not going to smudge. So whether we add further layers of doodling or water-soluble mediums, we know that it's not going to smudge. So again, it's not the end of the world if you don't have waterproof ink, but you just want to consider that then you want to sit it more on top when you're not going to add extra layers on, as opposed to further in the background where you're going to have to be much more careful. Of course, unless you're looking to smudge it, which could be in its own right. So we're going to stamp that up. Oh, I better make sure I ink up these ink pads before the next show. There we go. So dream a little dream. I've just
that looks really cute. That looks really good there,
on
Michelle.
the side. And then I'm going to grab this food ball pen, which is a really nice juicy pen. So when you use it, just be careful that you don't smudge it. You just want to give it a little bit of time to dry. And then what we're going to do is, like I said, take off that harsh edge by doing some of that easy writing or sort of scribble writing. So we can do something like, today is a wonderful day to play with Wendy and friends.
Thank you.
At picture to page. So you can see how just by doing that simple little bit of doodling, how it helps integrate it, but then also sort of takes that attention away as well. So something else we might do, like I showed on some of the others, is put a little bit of a border on.
Yeah.
And this is, a really great opportunity to just practice a steady hand. And if you don't have a steady hand, try and draw a straight line. Just make sure it's deliberately a bit wonky. And then some of the things we like to do might be to add a few little dashes, of course, in odd numbers.
Yes.
So 3 or 5, maybe a few little dots. And if I thought to grab my gold pen, I might do a little bit of gold around the middle of the stamps there. Yeah. Or again, just using it to reiterate that. So there we go. There is a good start.
That is gorgeous. And those pens are one of my favourite pens to use for mixed media, Michelle. I'm sure they are yours too.
So like I said, we just want to take care that we don't smudge it.
Yes, very true. Very true.
So I've got time. I've got plenty of time. Okay, so a couple of the other things we're going to do.
You're going well.
the great thing about little books is you could like decorate it, then you could send it to your friends and you can decorate different pages. And it's always nice to have, a little bit of interest in some of the pages. So I'm going to use one of our nice big circle punches. This is a 40mm punch.
Love that.
And then just making sure I'm not going over the top. There we go. So creating a circle. So we've got a little bit of interest.
Love it.
So we can go, ooh, what's behind there? So something, we could put another image there, or we could put some stamping. So what have I got to play with? Oh, I've got some more bits and pieces. Oh, of course, I've got jelly print circles because they're my favourite thing.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, turning my jelly prints into circles is again another really fun way to use them up. So again, just with a bit of a glue stick. Less mindful about composition because it's just going to sort of peek through.
That's the freedom mixed media gives you, that you don't have to be exact. You can just, whatever you feel like doing, you do.
Exactly. Now, the great thing also about mixed media, because, some of us feel like we can't draw, is using things like Marlene's gorgeous book of die. So, this book has just got so many different things in it, and they're already pre-cut, and we don't have to put too much thought in it. We can just flick through and see something that might suit our piece. So, maybe we go, oh, that looks interesting. And then we just really carefully push it through. And so not really any fussy cutting. There we go. We've got something that we can see will match our piece. Now also, I had scissors, there they are. So I don't know whether you can see, there's a few, sometimes there's those little blips that held it in place before we cut it out. Yeah, I might just trim those back a little bit, usually with a slightly finer scissors, just to again take it off and just even it up a little bit. Or of course, there's so many dies these days can be used with different stamps.
Definitely.
So all the fussy cutting. Just get rid of that and that. There we go. Now something else to consider is also a bit of an old paper towel trick, is that we know when we put this on, because it's got a bit of thickness in it, that we're going to get this white line around it. So what we can do is use just, any old marker, better if it's waterproof once it's dry, and then just run it around. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's good, Michelle. That's great.
Yeah, really gently. Can I see here? Really gently running it around the edge. We were hoping the sun would be out today to give us a bit more light out here, but not to worry.
At least it's not bucketing down with rain. Let's be grateful.
And it sounds like the neighbours have finished doing whatever they were doing. Oh, I spoke too soon.
You did.
Okay. So, yeah, so whether we just stick it on like that and have it so it just peeks up. And like I said, you could just, the great thing about these little books, if you're making them for yourself, you can use all the bits and pieces that you've collected. I'm sure everyone, except Wendy apparently, has little bits of leftovers sitting around.
I don't do leftovers, sorry.
I know, I don't believe it.
Crazy, isn't it? I just don't.
Delusions have this cute little set of washi tapes. This is like 3 of about, I don't know, there's like about 10 or 12 in the pack. Really cute little black and white ones. So we can add numbers. It's got months. It's got letters. So yeah, it's really just, again, another way of adding that little bit of interest in our page. And say, what else? So I think we need a word. Where did I have some words? Okay, let me see what I can find.
I know you had stamps there with you, so I'm not sure if you want to use.
Yeah, and here's some
those
ones.
Yes, you did have those.
Of course, they were within reach. These have been well used. So we've got a huge range of both Tim Holtz and Marlene words, and it's just such an easy way to add quotes. Now, some of these are a little bit cheeky, so if you're offended, just scroll on by. But it's always nice just to have a little bit. Oh, bloom where you're planted. How lovely.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's great because these are self-adhesive, but also you don't have to use it as a strip. So, okay, that gives us one idea. But if we cut it up, And then maybe we could consider, like we said, if we had bloom sticking up here, and then where you are planted sort of down here. So it becomes a bit of a surprise when you open it up. Yeah. And then again, with our food ball pens, just putting a few scribbly lines around it. So if you're wanting to do something, or you're not feeling well, it's good just to get your journal out, do a little bit of scribbling, get a bit of practice in hand control. And there we go. So we've got a couple of really simple pieces, and you can see that starting to come together. So again, if I wanted to highlight a few bits, I just use some markers and then just really make it your own. There's no reason why you have to just use these cutouts as they are. And one of the keys to mixed media is really conscious of how you're integrating your images into your piece. So by using something like a marker and using it in a few different places, then it really starts to integrate it because our eyes pick up those same colours in different places. Now the other thing we can do is if you've got something like some scribble sticks, some water-soluble medium. So the great thing about the Dina Wakley sticks is that they match the paint colours. So I know, if I've got the right tin, that I'm going to have some colours that match my painted backgrounds. So you can see there I've got the blue, I've got the lapis. So, somebody nicely put them all in colour order for me. So the great thing about these is that, like I said, you can use them just as a craft. You can also then activate them with water, which works a little bit like paint, but it gives you a bit more control. So here I've just got a Dina Wakley brush and a little bit of water. And hopefully this isn't too subtle, but can you see how I'm starting to move that around and creating a bit of a shadow behind the circle? You sort of see how that's starting to add. Yeah, and really if you add your shadows up, sort of add them in slowly, it gives you a chance to really give some dimension to a piece and sort of starts giving your elements a place on the page. Lots of little art techniques that we can learn by doing these books that we can then use in our art journaling pages or on a canvas. And see, now that I sort of like how that's dark, maybe I could put a darker piece over here. And so you can see how we're slowly building something up, which is quite unique. Okay, so the other thing I was going to show you, so we've got our front cover.
That's gorgeous. We've
got our little peek through. So I'm not sure if I've got them here. Like you could put a circle stamp around that, or we could do some more stamping. The thing I love doing, because there'll always be the one page that has like a little pocket.
Yes.
So what we can do is actually seal it at the bottom, and using a smaller hole punch, because now that I've got that on, I don't really want to take too much of it away, just to create a little bit of a thumb hole. Oops. And then you can put a tag in it, or an ATC, an artist trading card, or there's just so many different things that you could do with it. So it just creates that little bit of interest. It's just such a lovely size. You can hold it in your hand, you can flick through it. And if you decide you don't want that as the cover, you can always change it. It almost becomes like one of those endless books. Now, I don't want to add too much of a straight line, so I'm going to see how well that tears.
Yes.
Save that. We're going to use it for somewhere else. And now I realise I did want a bit of thickness on that, so maybe I've outsmarted myself yet again, because I want enough to cover the, and then when I turn it over, enough to close up. Oh, let's get that little bit around there to close up that pocket. There we go.
That is gorgeous. And you can add a tag. You can give it as a gift. You can even pop a gift voucher or, a gift card in there if you want it.
That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it? I mean, you want to make sure you let someone know that it was there before.
You need to tell them that.
Exactly. And one of the other things, so I've got another minute or two, is one thing I love about coloured ink is actually stamping in similar colours to add some really subtle effects. So this is, again, another one of my favourite Art by Marlene stamps.
I think we all fell in love with that one.
I know. I'm just going to use it loose so I can sort of not make too many defined lines. And then using that light blue again, just inking it up. And then and you can see how that just started to add some interest without being too strong or overpowering.
Love that.
Yeah. And that's the thing about mixed media. We want to add layers. We want to understand our mediums so that we know how to use them best. We want to use archival inks that are waterproof, so we can build up our layers. So we can add our scribble sticks, we can add our images, and how do we know when to stop? It's like, who knows? I think once we get to a point where our ideas start to get divergent and we're starting to think a bit crazy, then that's probably a good place to stop. Or, you get called for dinner.
Very true.
And you can see there how you can just create that little bit of interest.
Yep, just a
adding
point
in
of
another
difference,
colour.
just, something to capture your eye and lead it in a different direction.
And you can just, that shows just how beautifully smooth that paper
gorgeous.
is too. Because, it just adds that little bit in. And then, we could then...
Michelle, what GSM was that paper again, please?
So it's 120 GSM.
Thank you.
So we do have it at the shop and we'll have it at the shows coming up. We haven't got it on our website because it's a little bit heavy to post.
Very true, very true.
But if anyone's interested in it, they can always get in touch. And it's just a beautiful, smooth paper.
Absolutely.
Like I said, not too much thicker, but just enough to,
just need something that will, give you a little more solid base to work on and make gorgeous projects like this.
Yeah. And hopefully you're not using too much paint that makes it tear.
Yes.
But it just gives you that little bit of robustness.
Yeah.
Where's my pinky on? Oh, I've put it there. There we go. Okay. And sometimes it's nice to do this while you're out and about as well, because you don't have a lot of supplies at hand. They're all pretty clean. You've done the painty side of things.
Very true.
So then you can just use, and that's what's great about the scribble sticks as well. They're so good for travelling because they're easy to add that painty effect.
Yes, and you can, just take a small little case of art supplies with you if you're going travelling or whatever, and you can create.
Yeah, and then build it up. Okay, one, I promise that'll be it. So.
No, you're good. We've got probably about 5 minutes to go.
Okay, I've got so much to tell you.
We're good.
And so that's another one of the Art by Marlene stencils that you can see here. I'm just starting to build up a bit of a horizon. So I've got some interest in the background, horizons, adding some colour through here.
Yes.
And then, you'd see, well, what else have I got? Would I want to collage something? Do I want to do some words? Again, maybe we could use this horizon to put some sort of a quote. If you're more into scrapbooking, you can always, some of those cute little photo sizes you can just print out now. That would be such a cute little addition to that.
It would, yes, it really would. Lovely.
So I hope you've enjoyed watching me do this demonstration. So we've taken our gel print from an A4 page to a mini book. We've created our cover. We've created some composition with a horizon of washi tape about a third of the way up. We've put on one of our Art by Marlene stamps onto her beautiful collage papers. We've then done a bit of a doodle around it with our food ball pen. We've added our stamp and our border. We then created some interest by punching a circle in and then completed a simple little composition there, taking the quote and cutting it up so that you can use it in so many different ways, using the scribble sticks to add a bit of dimension, punching a thumb hole and closed up the bottom of the pouch so you could put in a card or a tag. And then we've started on another page as well. So I'm hoping that's given you some ideas for a little mixed media gel print book.
It sure has, Michelle. It's been really inspiring and lovely to see all those amazing techniques in that beautiful small project, which we can incorporate in so many ways.
Excellent.
So I'm going to give you a moment to swap your camera over and I'll come back to you. Wasn't that incredible? So many great ideas in such a short amount of time. So it just shows you don't need a lot of time to create. So even if you give yourselves 20 minutes, you could make one of those with one of your already created gel prints and it will be wonderful. Thank you to everyone who's saying hello to us. I'm sorry if I haven't acknowledged you. Mary, Helen, Christine, Diana, Alana, Kylie, Debbie, everybody. Sorry, Helen, Marin, everybody, thank you so much for saying hello to us and we appreciate you very much joining us for this session. So let me bring Michelle back on. Michelle, that was fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I know that you have a few things you'd like to share with us before we say goodbye.
I do, and I meant to mention this while I had the camera the other way, but we've got 2 special offers for our viewers this week on the Mixed Media Art website. The best place to find us is mixedmediaart.net.
Yes.
And then click on the shop online tag and you will
Yes.
find our gorgeous online shop. So our first one is 10% off all Dina Wakley and Dilutions paints. So just pop that in into your cart and that will show up in the cart, and that's
Okay.
valid until the 17th of August.
Yes.
And then also, for those of you that have been curious about gel prints and haven't known where to start, then we've also got 10% off all of our gel and brayers as well. Stocks are limited.
That's amazing.
But again, that'll show up in your shopping cart.
Fantastic.
So the other thing is to let you all know is that our little shop here in Mount Waverley is open Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays. So you're welcome to shop online and pick it up in store or come and have a look yourselves in person. We've got pretty much of everything open, so you can come and touch it, have a play with it, and make sure that it's what you're looking for. We've got a whole heap of classes coming up, in-person classes at Mount Waverley. So again, website mixedmediaart.net and click on the classes link. We've got special guest artists coming up. We've got art journaling sessions. We're doing gel printing. There's a whole heap of things on the website, so go and check that out.
Wonderful. And Michelle, what about all the upcoming shows you're going to be involved in?
Oh my goodness, we're in for a couple of busy months. So firstly, towards the end of August, we're heading to the Melbourne Paperific Expo at Flemington Racecourse. And then we will be heading to the Sandown from Picture to Page Papercraft show on the 14th, 15th and 16th of October. So we've got lots of chances to catch up with you before the end.
Absolutely. So I think get those Christmas wish lists ready or whatever else and come shopping and come and see everybody. And Michelle, do people need to check with you before they come to shop in person in Mount Waverley on those days? Is it best just to double check that you're there?
Yeah, it's usually if you're coming a long way, it certainly is best just to give us a quick ring and check that we'll be here. We're usually here from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Sure.
Although, as we all know, these days with illnesses and children and
Absolutely.
life, you never know what might happen. So definitely, give me a quick ring or send me a text message, and we'll be more than happy to see you here.
Wonderful. Well, Michelle, I've really enjoyed having you on the other side of the camera and watching you create. So thank you so much for a wonderful session, and we will see you again tomorrow for your next session.
Excellent. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. We'll see you soon.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate you being with us for this session. Don't forget, head to the website from picturetopage.com.au for any further information. Make sure you're signed up to the newsletter. Pop over to the Mixed Media Art website, check out the specials, have a shop. Michelle ships all over Australia. You can pop in and pick up your order if you're in the area or close by, or come and shop just and have a look at all the classes coming up. There's lots happening, so please make sure you're aware of it. Well, it's time for me to say goodbye. So this is me, Wendy, saying thank you so much for being with me this session. I've loved bringing it to you. I hope you find some crafty time this weekend. Please make sure you're kind to yourselves always, and bye for now.